I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. Yeah.
Nicholas?
What?
If they were to make a movie of your life,
oh, jeez,
who would be the actor you would want portraying yourself?
Oh man, Ryan Reynolds, 100%.
Ryan Reynolds. I just put you on the spot like that. You had that one ready to go.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't know that I can necessarily say that Ryan Reynolds and I are alike, but I'd like to think that we are.
Sure. Yeah.
What about you?
It's a good question. Reynolds was up there. I think Ryan Gosling would be up there as well.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we're having the same view of myself as I do, but maybe Vince Vaughn. I've always said Vince Vaughn I thought would enjoy my company.
Oh, really? You think he?
Yeah, I would enjoy his, obviously, but I think he would enjoy mine. Like maybe some of the witty banter, some of the back and forths.
Oh, really?
Could be Double Down Wes. That's a good nickname, right?
Double Down West. Why would you have to have a nickname?
Oh, you've never seen Swingers, huh?
I've never seen Swingers. Is that a movie of his?
Yeah, him and what's his name?
Owen Wilson?
No. Oh, I'm blanking on his name.
Go ahead, Tim.
John Favreau.
John Favreau.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, classic movie. It's a rom-com, actually.
How old is that one?
I don't know, early 90s?
Okay. Can't be that great if you didn't bring it up.
Late 90s, yeah.
My bad, Tim. I turned your mic off. Is it late 90s?
It gave birth to the swing craze. Probably, so I'd say like 96.
Yeah, the Brian Swetzer Orchestra.
Setzer.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
I was kind of into the whole swing thing when it came out.
I can see you, cutting up a rug there.
I like 1940s era stuff, so...
Are we talking about music, or are we talking about like swingers, like put the key in the bowl and let's see what happens?
Not that kind of swingers. No,
okay.
It was like swing music was big. It was a lot of the old ska bands that were popular in the 80s and early 90s turned into swing bands, and then that led to like a whole swing culture.
Oh, okay.
And
there you go.
And that's Talking Swing.
There you go. Talking Swing with Tim.
Welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Change My Mind podcast. We're going to get this right now. We're going to be talking about the best people to potentially play Batman. So it's a little appropriate that I opened up with that question there. I am Wesley Sykes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's a good point. Yes, you are Wesley Sykes. And I'm Nick Fryer.
You are Nick Fryer. And this is the Change My Mind podcast.
Yes, you got the episode right this time. I'm proud of you.
Yes. Well, we're making strides. 5 episodes in. It's all about growth and moving forward. One step in front of the other, as they say.
We got a lot to get to today. This one might go a little bit longer than an hour because there's some big news to get to.
A lot of news dropping on the last minute on us, too.
Oh, man, I've been itching to get going today. And then we got stuff at the end of the show that I'm looking forward to getting to,
should
too.
Be fun.
We should probably start with the news, though, right, Wes?
Yes, yeah. Let's wrap right into the news. You got some stuff right off the top. Actually, one of our kind of dating back to our second episode on the Punisher.
Yeah. Bye.
R.I.P.
Yep. R.I.P. Punisher and Jess Jones. Although apparently we're still going to get a season 3, which
because it's already in the can.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, fine. I
never watched any of the Jessica Jones anyway.
You didn't watch the first one?
No.
The first one was good, but I wonder how much of the first one was good because I expected nothing.
And it was the first one. Yeah.
And it came out to be pretty. I mean, it was very good I thought by the end of it. But the second season, let me put it to you this way: I watched it up through the 11th episode, and I was like struggling towards the end. And I think it was a 13-episode season. I really had a tough time getting back into those last 2. Part of it was because it was during baseball season.
Sure.
The other part of it was because I didn't like it. I mean, it's just the show is not worth your time, Wes. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I got from it, and now I don't have to waste my time with it because it's already going to be canceled, so why am I going to invest my time into, a third season and try to catch up and everything? It's just too bad. John Bernthal had a nice tweet or, message on social media thanking everyone who was supportive and could, relate to Frank Castle.
Yeah, he should. I mean, if they go and try and bring the Punisher back and he still looks like he can play the part, then he needs to reprise his role because he is the Punisher. It's like him, and then there's Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I think those 4 guys, I wouldn't say Fassbender and Magneto, although he's phenomenal as him.
He's my Magneto, though. I'll tell you that. It's not Ian McClellan.
McKellen. It's still, I get it wrong all the time.
Yeah.
It's McKellen, but yes.
Yeah, he's some Irish guy.
Tomatoes. Yeah, exactly. Actually, is he Irish?
I don't know.
Sir Ian McKellen, by the way.
Well,
thank you very much. Just like Sir Charles Barkley.
Right.
Which, by the way, I was watching the All-Star game this weekend, and Tim, you'll appreciate this. Kenny the Jet Smith on TNT twice referenced Plastic Man. I lost it. I was like, because first time I was like, well, maybe he's just saying Plastic Man.
He's letting his inner dork out.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't know. Did you know that, Tim, that Kenny the Jet Smith was a superhero fan?
I had no idea.
Good for him.
Plastic Man twice.
I mean, he has a superhero name himself, really. The Jet? Sure.
Yeah.
He could be a hero.
It's not that far-fetched.
It's not an original one, though, too, because there's also, what's his name? Who was on the Mavericks and the Hawks? Jason Terry.
Yeah, but his initials were
his
J-E-T.
initials, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he's also younger than Kenny Smith.
Yeah, but it gets around. You know, how many Batmans are there?
One.
Just one.
Well, I guess we'll get into it, though, I guess. That's what we like to call a big market tease.
By the way, when I found out, you know Method Man's a comic book fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the Wu-Tang.
I didn't know that till I saw Robert Kirkman's special on AMC, which was phenomenal. If any comic book fan should go back and watch that. But when I found out Method Man was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
See, people don't realize this about the Wu-Tang Clan. They're actually just a bunch of nerds.
They love kung fu movies.
Yeah, they seem like a bunch of like real badasses in their music, but then you see like the MTV Cribs where they go through the Wu Mansion, and you realize like these guys are just like really, really big dorks.
There's nothing wrong with it. My kind of people.
No, nothing wrong with it at all.
That's why cash rules everything around me. You know? Yeah, that's talking hip hop.
What else do you got? What do you got, Wes?
Well, so I got a little Star Wars news here. We love the Star Wars fans coming out here. So J.J. Abrams posted this week on social media that Star Wars Episode 9 has officially wrapped shooting, and it's rumored that the much-anticipated title reveal will occur on none other than May the 4th, 2019, a.k.a. Star Wars Day.
Okay.
But if you do a little digging, you didn't even have to really dig all that much. All you have to do is really just type in Star Wars Episode 9 onto Google, and it comes up with all these like most recent stories. So there's a couple sites out there that are leaking so-called possible names, possible title reveals. And there's one person on Reddit who correctly predicted the Rogue One title.
Oh, really? Somebody?
Yeah.
Wait,
It's got to be people who are in the know. It's like someone who's attached to the movie by some degree of separation. But this person says that it will be called The Balance of the Force.
Okay.
Well, another rumored title is A Light in the Dark.
A Light in the Dark?
Yeah, so they both sound kind of corny, but I think that's kind of what Star Wars is at this point. It's kind of hokey.
Really? You think?
No, I like them, but I think it's all just kind of hokey.
Well, the balance in the Force makes sense because like we're using vernacular that we talk about a fair amount, but there's a light in the dark.
Yes,
that sounds like a Nickelodeon special.
Yeah. Well, Are You Afraid of
the
Dark?
From the 90s,
right?
Yes, exactly.
I could see that in there. Yeah.
No, come on. There's no way.
But it's all supposed to be about finding the gray, the balance. Between the dark side and
in the light
and the light side. I guess
that's what they're called, right? The light side, technically?
No. We can't do that. That gets...
what are they? Is it not...
Tim, you got something on us here?
Well, I'm sorry.
The Jedis.
Yeah, they're called the light side, right?
They don't really call it the light side, no.
The lighter side. It's just that they always have a positive look on things. You know?
Okay.
Now for the lighter side. It's like Stuart Smalley's like the head of that.
I don't know why. I just can't put my finger on what it is. It's not the light side, though. You're right. I don't know what it is. It's just the Jedi.
Yeah, just the Jedi.
The Resistance.
They just.
We're really losing points right now with the Star Wars crowd.
It's okay. I mean, we never claim to be the Star Wars junkies. Anyways, speaking of fans getting a little angry, one thing I saw on Twitter this weekend, Wes, was the Captain Marvel fans who continue to take it on the chin left and right for in some ways for no reason.
The movie just needs to come out. You know, I think people are itching.
And I think it's right now. I think it will absolutely be a success just because so many people are down on it right now. That because they have zero expectations, it's gonna do well. You're gonna be like, oh, this is definitely not as bad as I expected it to be. But now it's not just the Captain Marvel fans who are defending themselves. They're defending themselves against the Alita Battle Angel fans,
which is getting rave reviews right now.
Which means nothing
from the
to
audience.
Me.
It looks cool.
Oh, from the audience.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's getting like moderate reviews, like around 50-60% or so.
You think it looks
from
cool?
the critics? I think it looks cool. Yeah.
The villain, as far as I can tell, it's the guy from Luke Cage, Cottonmouth.
Oh yeah.
I think he's the head bad guy, and then I think.
Care on me.
I love your shirt, by the way. Your dog shirt.
Oh yeah, there we go. Show that off there. Valentine's Day gift.
Nice. And then the the second villain, I guess, the henchman, whatever it is, the muscle, is the bad guy from he's Francis from Deadpool, I believe.
Oh, Francis.
He looks terrible.
Yes. Wow.
He looks terrible.
Hasn't aged all that well, huh?
No. He looks like that's not what I was getting at all. But he's got like the most. You haven't seen him in the previews? Have you seen the previews?
I hadn't recognized anyone from the previews. It just looks cool. It looks like it's a mixture of CGI and real life, and it kind of has like a Ready Player One type of vibe to it.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. It was good. It was fun.
The idea, I don't like the idea of it.
Well, it was a book originally.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You call yourself a comic book nerd? Come on. That's one of the greatest novels, like comic book novels out there.
Tim, have you heard that before?
Not comic book novels,
Ready Player One is one of the greatest comic book novels out there. I've never heard that before.
I wouldn't call it a comic book, but it's in the same...
I've heard... No,
is
I've
it a
heard
graphic novel?
rave review. No, it's a regular novel.
It's a regular novel.
But I've heard rave reviews about the novel.
Okay, so are there pictures in it?
No.
So then why am I reading it?
It's all about Americana. It's not American.
I haven't read it myself, but there's people who are like ardent fans of it. There are people who will say that book has changed their lives, like Atlas Shrugged changed, other people's lives.
I wouldn't say it's as big as the people who stand for the Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, but I think or even Harry Potter. But I think it's probably in that next tier for cult status.
I don't think we were wrong about the light side of the Force thing. By the way, I just looked that up while you were talking with Tim. I don't think we're entirely off with that. I wasn't, at least. Anyways,
okay, I'll go with that then.
So
I almost did. I almost did my Rust Cole impression there.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that in a minute, actually, if you want. So you can break that out in a couple minutes.
I don't really do a good impression.
Well, we're gonna hear it.
So I know I have one other thing before we get into the comics and the Stay Woke. Did you have any other news things?
No. Just if you're interested in participating in a little bit of a lightsaber league. Just hop over to France, take a Euro step, get over to France real quick.
I'm all in on
this. Because the France Fencing Federation, try saying that 5 times fast.
Nope.
Formally put its support behind lightsaber dueling, essentially giving the LED blades the same status as a saber, according to the Associated Press, so it's true. Picture it like fencing, but instead of a foil or an EP, combatants wield what is essentially long toy flashlights. But there's a firmly established rules for the 3-minute bouts where combatants wear protective padding and battle each other to 15 points. Would you be a part of this?
Oh, I am all in on this 100%. Can't be too much like real fencing, though. I feel like it's very rigid.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because you wouldn't do this if it was just fencing. Fencing's been around and offered, and I'm sure available in some way, shape, or form near us.
Yeah, well, actually, at Northwestern, it was for women, but they had a women's fencing team. It was actually a college sport, if you can believe that.
Yeah, no, I believe that, yeah.
I think it's them and like the Ivies and all the people.
Yeah, some of the hoity-toity schools.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
But I wouldn't be in on it if it's just regular fencing, if it has the same rules, but now it's just a lightsaber. I mean, it's still not that cool.
Would you play Quidditch?
If I could fly on brooms?
No, but there's Quidditch leagues. Like there was one at Hofstra and stuff where you have to hold your stick and pretend like you're running, but you're it's like field hockey with a stick between your legs.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, if it's anything like field hockey, then hell no.
I don't think there's as much stoppage in field hockey. I don't know what's going on half the time in field hockey.
No one knows. Even the refs know what the hell's going on. But no, I wouldn't do Quidditch unless I'm really flying on brooms. What about, would you do it? Have you done it?
No, I haven't.
It sounds like you have. I think you're lying.
No, but you get a few brews in me, I'll try anything. So if it's a little backyard barbecue and someone wants to, have me go fetch a snitch real quick, then you can do that.
Are we still talking about
the golden
Quidditch?
Snitch?
Yes. We're talking about Quidditch still. Okay.
Yeah, no, this isn't some sort of street vernacular.
Okay.
I thought it was an Adrian Peterson story there.
There we go, like a switch. Yes. Yeah. That's a small stick they use to hit over someone's backside when they've been misbehaving.
That was actually brought up in the last episode of Walking Dead this weekend too. I don't know. Tim, did you watch it?
I have not watched it yet. No, I had a little while today, and I made the choice between that and True Detective. I think I chose wisely.
You made the right choice.
You probably made the right choice.
Okay, let's get to the comic books here.
Well, real quick, we also saw a Dark Phoenix teaser too with Magneto getting his helmet back.
Meh.
I don't. If the movie's not coming out, stop trying to make us think you're actually going to have a movie come out. It doesn't exist. There's no way. I mean, yeah, you may have shot it, but we're not going to see it ever. You shot New Mutants.
I'll go see it, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I hope it comes out. I don't believe it's going to though.
Yeah,
I think something's going to happen, which
nah.
never becomes a thing. But yeah, comic book minute. So 2 things. One, we found out that we're going to get a Batman TMNT movie, animated movie. I am all in on this. If you guys haven't read those miniseries or special events, whatever you want to call it, there have been 2 of those, both 6 issues. Well worth your time. I mean, from start to finish in both of them, I thought the artwork was great. I should have looked up who did the art. I know it's going to be different for the movie. Big fan of that. Both stories were awesome. I think this one's going to be based on the first one. Then we have the Savage Avengers are coming out, too. This is a new thing I'd never heard of. It's going to take place in the Savage Land, which I believe was in X-Men, the animated series. You might be a little familiar with that. I
remember that. Yeah, I do.
So it's going to include...
In the Savage Land, if I remember, in the series, Professor X could walk.
I think so.
Or the Mr. Sinister was involved in some of that, but anyway,
he might have been. That much I don't know, but I do know this, that Conan the Barbarian is the leader. Now tell me, Wes, are you in on this crew? So you got Conan as the leader, which I think is the weakest part of the whole thing. You have Wolverine, the Punisher, Elektra, Dr. Voodoo, and Eddie Brock's Venom.
Wow.
So not Flash Thompson, Agent Venom.
Wow, I love me some Dr. Voodoo.
You have no idea who that is.
No, I do. From Marvel Contest of Champions.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Brother Daniel. He gets possessed by Brother Daniel and places Loas on his opponents.
Well, look at you.
Yeah, I know a little bit. A little bit about this and that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it looks great. I'm all in.
I'm
Wolverine, Frank Castle.
I'm not a big Avengers guy, but this Avengers group, I think we have to read this.
Elektra, yeah, okay, I'm in.
Wait a minute. Why is Elektra the one you're like, on?
Well, I don't know. I for some reason I couldn't picture it. Then I remembered her from The Defenders and Daredevil and remembered how much I enjoyed her, actually.
She's a goddess.
Yeah, she's great.
So you got anything for us to stay woke about this week?
Yes. On the heels of the penultimate episode of True Detective Season 3, I am just fully balls deep into this. I'm probably going to go back and rewatch it tonight because my fiance, who's asleep right now, fell asleep through it last night. So we have to go and catch up, and that gives me an excuse to rewatch it. But if you're craving more of True Detective and you just haven't got enough, or we want something to kind of fill the gaps between now and then, couple of true life crimes of which True Detective Season 3 is based upon. Starting with the West Memphis 3, referring to a 1993 case in which 3 teenagers were convicted of murder of 3 8-year-old boys. The teenagers who were accused and did spend a considerable amount of time in jail looked to be, they wore Black Sabbath T-shirts and they were into heavy metal, and they were connected to the satanic panic mass hysteria of the early 80s and 90s, which I'm sure Tim could attest to. Investigators at the time thought the death of the child victim had cult overtones. So the dark interest of the 3 suspects was some had expressed interest in occult things, like believing in ghosts or some sort of rituals, or that could be, that's really kind of like a blanket term.
Quick timeout. So the kids that died, it was 8 years old?
There were 3 8-year-old boys who died.
3 8-year-old boys who died, and then the suspects are 13-year-old boys. Is that what you said?
Well, ranging from the ages of 16 to 18.
Okay, I got lost there. Okay, yeah. So 16 to 18 into the occult, satanic. You got 3 8-year-olds that are dead. How many suspects?
3.
3. So 3 and 3.
3 on 3 crime.
All right. I'm up to date now. Okay.
Now, they were very quick to close out this, and it kind of rattled the town. They were quick to kind of close up the case and wrap it up. However, there was new evidence found that absolved them of the crimes, and they were released like in the early 2000s. So they spent a considerable amount of time in jail, and I believe they still haven't found that up yet. But if you Google True Detective West Memphis 3, you should be able to find some good information on that. Also, the Clintons and ties with Tyson Food Industries, the chicken company, Tyson Chicken. Hoyt Foods, which is the fictional factory in Arkansas in True Detective, which is based off of Tyson Foods, which is also an Arkansas-owned company. Mm-hmm. Or
I've seen Seinfeld, I know.
Yeah, so Bill Clinton, who was the Attorney General and eventual governor of Arkansas, where Tyson Foods is located, as I mentioned. Let me see here. Benefited from a variety of state actions, including $9 million in government loans, the placement of company executives on important state boards, and favorable decisions on environmental issues. So they had this great working relationship, the Tyson family and the Clinton family, even so that the Clintons made big money on trading commodity future stocks, making roughly $100,000 on a single one-time only $1,000 investment when the typical minimum is $12,000.
Okay.
So they were able to kind of circumvent the rules to gain big money off of Tyson Foods growing bigger and bigger in the country, of which they own stock in. And they kind of manipulated laws and made rules and regulations that favored Tyson Foods to help build them up. So it's kind of like a one hand washing the other.
Wow.
So these are things like, they're not, there's small undertones in True Detective Season 3, but that speak to a greater, corruption and conspiracy that go on in the town. And the Clintons, if you type in Clinton conspiracy theories, you can get lost in a very deep hole going off in multiple directions. But this is just one of them that's kind of interesting to kind of listen in on. Tim, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I don't want to say taken aback because I was expecting it to show up eventually, but I kind of almost did like a yes when it connected back to season 1.
Right. Yes.
Which, I mean, I suppose you really shouldn't be getting that excited about, kids being killed and wow, this is just like another case where pedophiles
it's in the same universe.
Kill kids. Right. And it was certainly one of those moments where you started to realize that there could be a much, much bigger picture that they could go forward with in many other seasons, but
they don't have the time in this season to really do that.
No, I'm really worried about how much they're going to wrap up in this season.
Right. Well, because if you remember in season 1, too, season 1 also is that they just found the murderer, not the bigger conspiracy, as they mentioned in this most recent episode.
So this is actually taking us a little bit further into that conspiracy. So maybe by like season 7 or 8, we'll actually know what the hell's going on.
Oh, I'll be looking forward to it because they put together just gripping television. The score of that episode was unbelievable.
I was thinking this, and maybe you'll agree with me on this, but Nick Pizzolatto's been writing all of these episodes himself, and one of the things that I found really interesting as I'm watching the show is I'm thinking over in my head like what's written on the page, and I really think that what's written on the page, as great as the show is kind of bare bones. Like there's not a lot of stuff that's written. I think it's really the acting on this show that's really making this so gripping. I mean,
Mahershala Ali's great, but it's really Stephen Dorff's, kind of coming in over the top rope sort of thing. Like he's really delivering a huge blow to this whole acting thing. Like, I think he's doing a great job.
And everybody is just perfect on the show.
Yeah. That's all I got though.
I haven't seen 1 second of the show, but I really enjoy hearing you two talk about it.
Well,
not even remotely joking.
You have to give it a go.
I will.
If you're into that true crime sort of stuff. It's a must.
It's not. I don't know if I'd say that's my thing, but I tried watching it back in college, but I was overwhelmed with the amount of shows. I never was really a show guy.
So the first season of True Detective was the first show that I ever had to really go back and read recaps after each episode to kind of pick up on things that I didn't connect.
Oh, really?
Because everything in the show is meant to lead you astray or maybe lead you down the right path depending on how you interpret things. And like, there's not an ounce of fat on the show.
What I find
all
most
the
interesting,
dialogue, everything they show you, you're meant to absorb.
What I find interesting about this show most is that it was phenomenal the first season. Second season was a total train wreck by all accounts. Pretty much.
Yeah, by a lot of people. I think it gets overblown. I think the hype monster kind of did it.
But now it's back to where you fully expected it to be. And I don't think many shows can kind of make that turnaround. I don't know.
And the fact that this season is connecting back to the first season,
yep,
I think that will be the winning formula going forward.
Right.
Is to just keep trying to tell that story. And they tried to go in a completely different direction, and people wanted more. Like Wes said, they ended it kind of with, we solved the crime, but we didn't solve the conspiracy. So people are like, well, now you're going to sweep all that under the rug and go to a whole different story, which is still interesting nonetheless, but has nothing to do with what was going on in the first one.
And it's still Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, right?
No.
Nope. I thought they were in this season, no?
No, they just get mentioned here.
Oh.
That's it,
No,
yeah.
each season is 2 different detectives. that they're
Oh, I knew
following
they
through.
were with second season. I thought they were bringing them back for this one.
No, this is Mahershala Ali and Stephen Dorff.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
very good stuff.
Okay, I missed that. Okay, good to know.
Well, yeah, I think that wraps it up though. Let's get into the main course.
Okay, so speaking of not having the same actors play in roles, I'm really trying to force that transition in there. So prior to the show, I saw on Twitter that Screen Rant they posted on Twitter, and someone else was probably reporting it initially, that Armie Hammer was close to becoming Batman. Thankfully, Casey Walsh, the editor for Geeks Worldwide, my boss, the EIC, he right away let me know that he's hearing that that's not the case. Thank God, because Armie Hammer would be a terrible casting, which was part of what we were planning on doing today. Actually, was our plan was try and figure out who fits the role of Batman best next. So Wes and I have a list of guys that we want,
yes,
and guys that we don't want,
and we have not shared one another's list. So I don't know who you got. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I know who I got.
You know one person that I don't have, and that's Armie Hammer. I don't want no part of Armie Hammer.
I did not have him on my list either. Although I think, in his defense, if this were to follow suit, I didn't know it was the Winklevi twins, by the way. From the Social Network.
Winklevoss, right?
Well, it's the plural.
Yeah, he's pluralized.
The plural, yes.
Jesus.
It's the English minor coming to play here.
Yeah.
But no, that's I didn't know that was him. So like when I think we mentioned it last week as a possibility, or maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But I
had
could
no
see
idea
him playing a great Bruce Wayne. He's very polished. He looks the part. He looks very suave and sophisticated. I would like to see him, how he does in a Batman role. Bruce Wayne, I don't question.
How often are we going to see him as a Bruce Wayne? I feel like
that's a key part of playing Batman, though.
Yes, but at the same time, when we look at the screen time for all the movies we've seen so far, how much Bruce Wayne have we really seen? I mean, even in Justice League, I know it's not a Batman movie, but when he has his mask off, he's not Bruce Wayne. He's Batman. The whole time, he is Batman. He's approaching it the same way constantly.
Yeah.
And I understand Armie Hammer can play emotionless. I don't doubt that. But there needs to be some anger and some passion behind what he does, because there is anger. That's what drives this guy. He doesn't want what happened to him as a kid to happen to anybody. Speaking of which, before we get into the casting,
yes,
if DC or Warner Brothers, whatever, decides to friggin' wake up and do Flashpoint someday, because I would love to see that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is the no-brainer, because he obviously was Thomas Wayne he's Batman's dad, Thomas Wayne. But the other guy who I wouldn't mind seeing, that I saw this somewhere, I saw Josh Brolin get brought up as Batman, I think it's a couple years ago.
Yeah, I have him as an honorable mention if he would be played as an older Batman.
Yeah, and I think he could pull off Thomas Wayne too.
At what point do we...
As Batman.
At what point do we put the limit on how many different comic book characters Josh Brolin can play?
I don't know.
But he could do a lot, though. That's why I agree with you. But
he could pull that Batman off, though.
He could
Thomas
play a
Wayne
really
Batman.
Really good Batman.
I mean, he was...
Yes, he's Cable, he's Jonah Hex, and he's Thanos right now.
That's actually a lot.
I'm kind of jumping ahead now, but I was gonna mention a guy who this would be his third comic book character role. Wes, can you name the other actor besides Josh Brolin who's played in 3 comic book character roles? Tim, can you?
3. So Ryan Reynolds and
Ryan Reynolds is the first one that pops into my head, but he's only...
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, because he was the Green Lantern, and he was Flame on Johnny Storm.
Nope, that's Chris Evans.
Oh no!
Yeah,
No, I'm sorry. He was the Deadpool, and then the Deadpool.
Nope, that's one. I'm counting that as one. I think everybody counts as one.
All right.
He's also you actually have made fun of him before. Green Lantern.
Yeah.
It is Ryan Reynolds. And he also is Hannibal King in Blade Trinity.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Who is also kind of like a Wade Wilson. He's kind of like a Wade Wilson.
He plays it like that. I don't know how much.
He's a merc with a mouth.
He's a vampire hunter. So
yeah, but he's hired, and he's got a smart mouth, and he uses swords.
Ryan Reynolds always plays himself. That's the thing you got to remember. I don't think Hannibal King is Deadpool. Anyways.
Now, what I think is important to put out here, okay, so this is Matt Reeves here, who is speaking to the Hollywood Reporter about a month ago. He says, it's very much a point of view driven noir Batman tale, speaking on the new Batman movie.
So Batman.
It's told very squarely on his shoulders, and I hope it's going to be a story that will be thrilling but also emotional. It's more Batman in his detective mode than we've seen in other films. He's also said to be looking to cast an actor who can play 25 to 30 years old, as the script is linked to Batman Year One and some sort of an origin story.
Notice not once did you mention Bruce Wayne in there.
Well, it's an origin story, so you do get Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but he's talking about Batman because that's what we care about.
Well, yeah, because
Bruce Wayne's a lot easier to play.
He's the superhero. You're not going to say Clark
Not
Kent.
everybody can play Batman.
That's a horrible argument right there.
I think it's a great argument.
I think it's important to keep that in mind, that it's going to be an origin story. You want someone who's young. You want someone who, again, can.
If you want someone who's young,
if
you want someone who's young, but what I'm trying to say is that I think if you can play Batman, you won't have a problem playing Bruce Wayne.
I have a better idea.
What is that?
How about we just stop remaking the Batman origin story?
I agree.
Yeah, you don't need,
when I heard that really turned me off.
Like, let's just move on. And
wasn't that
unnecessary.
Wasn't that the big knock on Batman vs Superman? Is that you got the first 25 minutes of a Batman origin story?
And then Spider-Man, you didn't touch on it at all, and I think it was fine.
And it worked out well. Everyone knows.
Had no issue with that when I watched that movie.
Yeah, just, if you want to have a little bit of a cold open to the film and just kind of a little bit of a flashback thing, or maybe tell it over the opening credits.
Yeah, I don't need to see Batman, I don't need to see him fall as a kid falling down that well and having all the bats around him again.
The only great thing about the original four Batman movies.
Clutch.
Yeah.
Right.
Broke.
The original four Batman movies, the only good thing about that is they got that out of the way in the first one, and then were able to progress the story.
Mm-hmm.
You can fight about where it went and whether or not it was a good idea to do what they did, but the bottom line is each movie was different.
I don't mind going from, I know there were ones in between, but I don't mind going from Keaton's Batman to Bale's Batman and having the origin story there, because the other ones in between were such trash.
Yeah, and it's a complete different version of the character.
Yep.
But in terms of right now with what's going on in DC,
you don't need it.
You don't need it.
No, we all know. If we're watching it, we all know, and if we really want to know more, then we'll look into it. That's just how it is. It's simple.
It's not a complicated backstory.
No, it's not.
You can tell it over the opening credits.
But I'm saying if you worried about because I'm sure their thing is too, like, we know, like, Tim is going to see it and Wes and Nick, they're going to see it, but we want to go and get Sally and Johnny who might not see it. But my thing is, if they really care, if they're really interested, they'll look into it more. They'll figure it out.
You know who was being?
And everybody loves Batman too. Who doesn't love Batman?
Well, yeah, MCU fans.
Batman. I think Batman transcends all fandoms, and anybody who doesn't like comics is like, it doesn't matter, because Batman is still a dude.
And it's a starter superhero. You grow up liking him. You grow up liking Superman. You grow up liking Spider-Man. I feel like those are some of the base ones that you kind of start off.
Wolverine.
Your root of your superhero fandom starts in those kind of core four.
And if you want to tell an origin story, if you need to, then bring in Robin and tell the Batman origin story through him recounting it to Robin as we're getting the Robin story. So at least we're getting something fresh and different.
I think Tony Stark and Iron Man is now in that same category, Wes. He didn't used to be, but I think now he is for kids.
Yeah. Well, because they're rewriting the comic books to Tony Stark and to Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways,
before we'll go 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. But your honorable mentions real quick.
I don't have it in that kind of order yet, but I can definitely do that.
Why would you?
Well, I just have a list of people that I'm interested in.
Why would you make a list and not rank them?
Okay, fine. I mean, I have 10 people that I say no on, and then I have 6 people that I say yes to maybe.
Who's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention, I guess my honorable mention would be Michael Fassbender.
Okay, I have Fassbender on there.
I'll put him as my honorable mention, not because I already said it, but
mentions. Yeah, there's a couple. You don't have to pick one.
I have, but like I said, I have 6 guys. So I mean, if I had to, am I just picking one as this is my go-to number 1 person? I'm sorry.
What's your list here? I
just have 6 candidates that I'd be interested in.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm married to any particular one.
Okay.
I guess I have 2 that stand above the rest. How's that? I have 2 that stand above the rest.
I don't know how you pick the names and don't.
Well, because honestly, I look at them and I'm like, okay, I can see this person, but I would be fine with that person as well. There's no one that I'm like, has to be.
All right.
But I look at 2 actors and I say, yes, it should be one of these 2. So Fassbender, because Fassbender can do anything. He's a phenomenal actor. He's one of the best, I think, of our lifetime. I have one in here who's better than him. I'm sorry, not of our lifetime, of this past decade, I would say. I have Idris Elba, but the age thing is the issue with him.
Yeah.
Luke Evans, who I did see brought up at one point. He's in The Hobbit. He's Bard Is it Bard of Dale? Is that right, Tim? In The Hobbit, Bard of Dale?
I don't know. I don't know anything about The Hobbit.
Okay,
Yeah,
what are
I
you
don't
good
know.
for then?
I don't know anything about any of that Tolkien stuff. I'm terrible at that.
Okay, it's weird. Your mic's not working again. But what was the other one? He was the most recent Dracula as well. And then this was the guy I was talking about that could play three. This would be his third comic book character role. So he was also in Kick-Ass. He was also Quicksilver in the MCU.
Oh, I've heard this guy thrown
Aaron
around.
Taylor Johnson. I think he could handle that role as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Now I have 2 left after that, but we'll go to your honorable mentions.
So I had an honorable mention of I mentioned the Idris Elba, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Josh Brolin, Fassbender,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Hell no! Come on, Wes.
Batman's the only movie he's not in.
I think he could pull that off.
No, A, he's Black Adam, and B, no, he could
what
not
does
pull
that
that
matter
off.
if he's Black Adam? Why does that matter?
That's because he's in the DC universe.
I would get out of Black Adam to be Batman.
Yes, okay, but no, he's not gonna play. He'll fail in that role.
Why? What else has he failed in?
How are you going to believe Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Batman?
I don't know. I could believe him to be almost anything at this point. I think he's America's leading action star.
Oh, God.
This is an action movie. If you're looking for a little bit of a reboot, he may be a little rough around the edges. He may not be the best Bruce Wayne, but he would be an intimidating Batman.
He would be an intimidating Batman, but he'd be a terrible Bruce Wayne.
Imagine rock bottoming, the Joker, giving the Riddler the people's elbow. Dropping.
Can you imagine?
They remember when they used to work the rock bottom into every rock movie?
Yeah.
Every movie that he was in, at some point he would give somebody the rock bottom.
Can you imagine him seriously going around talking like Batman and be like, I'm Batman?
I would love to see it.
holding a straight face? No way, dude.
If Hollywood was going to cast Nicolas Cage with long hair as Superman.
They didn't, though.
Have you seen that documentary, by the way?
Did. It was interesting.
The one on Hulu. Have you seen that?
I don't have Hulu.
Man, it's worth getting Hulu for a month just to watch that documentary. It's
Just
so
that?
weird.
Really?
Just to see him as Superman. So weird.
But that was my honorable mention. My number 5 pick is John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
Okay. I can see it, right? So he has the grizzled that can't be tamed by anything other than his own will thing going on. His moral compass is the only thing that really guides him, which is a lot what Batman does. He'd be a brute force of a Batman. I'm not sure how good of a detective he would be. I think those detective skills would need to be refined a little bit.
I'm sure they could figure that part out.
And he's maybe lacks the sophistication.
Yes.
And the polished presentation of a Bruce Wayne.
That's where I would say no to John Bernthal.
That's why he's number 5.
With respect, because he's a phenomenal actor and a phenomenal Punisher, but there are certain roles that he plays well. You have to have a little... I know Batman, in a way, is a little crazy, but he's not John Bernthal kind of crazy, because Bernthal has this thing where he's talking to you, he's looking at you in the eye, and then he looks off to the side, and he's like... and then he looks back at you, and he's like, no, I can't keep messing around looking off to the side.
No, I think he could do that. He plays the very wounded, guarded thing very well, which is Batman.
You can't do that as Bruce Wayne or Batman.
Well, I think you're just visioning him as the Punisher playing Batman.
No, I'm also visioning him as the guy from Fury. I can't remember his name. Did the same thing in that one. He also did the same thing as Shane in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, he could be, but I thought he was pretty good in Wind River, who played another wounded, troubled soul.
Wind River. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to break out. You're just looking for any excuse to sing at this point.
Nope. I'm all set.
All right, so who do you have after that?
I have 2 people left, so go ahead and do your... whatever you have left.
So I have John Hamm coming in at number 4. Now, he's outside the 25 to 30 range, but he is perhaps the best Bruce Wayne portrayal on the market.
No!
Oh, he absolutely is.
No way!
The best Bruce Wayne.
No!
He has that suave, smooth sophistication that screams high society. But can he be a good Batman?
I don't think I could buy him as Batman.
No, you can't.
For Bruce Wayne, he'd be good. But I love me some John Hamm. He'd have some nice quips, like a Michael Keaton kind of funny, hey, I'm Batman type of thing.
So what is your, like, when you think of John Hamm, what role do you think of him?
I never saw Mad Men. I think of him as the boyfriend in Bridesmaids.
Okay, you know what I think of him as? I think of him as the guy who gets fired by Leslie Knope in Parks and Rec.
He has like 5 seconds in that whole episode.
That's what I think of him as. I tried watching Mad Men because I know one of the guys who acted in his dad. I'm sorry, I know the actor. I played with his son at Northwestern.
Okay.
But I just couldn't get into that show. I couldn't. And I know John Hamm. It's big for him and everything. But
yeah.
So Bruce Wayne, maybe, but he's on my no. He's on my no list.
So I'll get to my number 3 before we go tit for tat here. John Cho.
I don't know who that is.
That's
now this is if you want to go to a little diverse. little diverse. If you want to expand outside of the dark-haired, light-skinned Batman that we've grown accustomed to over the years.
I already did that with Alba. Nice try.
He's starred in big-budget action movies before in the Star Trek reboot franchise. He's even led a franchise of his own.
I don't know.
And
That's not real.
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
That's who you're talking about.
But yes, yeah, he's proven he can play a badass role in the Star Trek movies. He's a very good fencer, to bring it back around to our news and notes portion. And he has a distinguished look to look like he's, smart and can handle all the gadgets. And he's looks very polished, can handle himself in a gala.
He's not physically imposing.
Well, anyone can take HGH for a couple months and get built up.
No way, dude. No.
Sure you can.
No.
I think you could do that.
No, not Batman.
He's due for a breakout role.
No. You know what?
Breakout starring
Ben
action
Affleck's
role.
Batman made me realize that Christian Bale's physical appearance as Batman was so subpar. As much as I liked him as Batman,
yeah.
I mean, Ben Affleck, if nothing else, he had the look right, and I think that is so important. Henry Cavill, same thing. I mean, that is, when I think of Superman, 100%, that's what I think.
No, I agree. I'm just throwing it out there,
That's your 3, though.
That's my number 3.
That's terrible, Wes.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good option.
Can I ask, were you under any substances when you made this list?
Possibly.
Are you right now?
It could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we going to go tit for tat now with our 1 and 2,
yes.
or do you want to go into our nose?
Two and one. 2 and 1. We'll go 2, and then we'll go with our nose. We'll kind of do a hard sell there.
So if we're going with... See, this is where I run into a tough spot here, because I have one who I think is the better actor, and then I have one who falls into the age range.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the age range guy as my number 2, and you brought him up last episode, Liam Hemsworth. I think he can pull off the Batman role.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I think he can pull off Bruce Wayne very well. Again, I think that's the easier part of the two here, and I think he would be a very physically intimidating Batman. He's only going to get bigger. I mean, he's already a big enough dude as it is.
Well, and he's working with the same genes of Thor, so you got that going for you.
Arguably better looking, too.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he's got Miley under his belt,
That's not necessarily something to brag about, I would say.
I think she's great. I think he took her back from the crazy side, brought her back to normal.
Have
you seen these Grammys recently? She looked great. She looked fantastic.
Did she? I really don't. Okay.
Oh, yeah. My number 2 is Miley Cyrus. No, it's John Boyega. I told you, it's very Star Wars centric. Again, spreading out to the diversity that it's not Michael B. Jordan, which everyone just kind of says, what black actor can we find to play in this next role who's young? No, Michael B. Jordan would be okay. John Boyega, another under 30 actor, won't get shy around leading a big budget film. We know he can do that. He's been one of the consistently best actors over the last couple Star Wars films.
What?
Yeah, I think
I could really take or leave Finn.
I think he's been great.
I'm not a fan.
See, I'm a fan of him.
Why do you think? See, Wes, some of these guys, they don't have that badass, intimidating presence. That's why
he hasn't had the opportunity to. How do you know?
Well, why would they cast him as Finn if he's a guy? He played that role pretty naturally, I think.
I don't know. Would you consider Ben Affleck to have what it takes to kind of be that Batman before you saw
the town?
Him? Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean he's Batman.
You, Shiny's just dressing up and playing house. So get that through your head. Yeah, I think he can play a badass
that's
role.
Pretty good. I guess so. I guess that's good. Yeah, he just hasn't had the opportunity to. So, why should we close him out for that?
Because I don't think he can handle that role. I think that's why people like Michael B. Jordan. But the thing is, Michael B. Jordan's a better Jason Todd if you're going to put him in the DCU. Jason Todd's Red Hood,
If you're going to be going back to an origin story of a young Batman who's figuring out who he is and how he's going to become the, Cape Crusader, down the cap and cowl, so to speak, cape and cowl. He shows that naivety that's showed by Finn in Star Wars of him being able to go through it and his kind of unsureness, which I thought was a good job.
Okay.
Kind of figuring things out on the fly.
The one thing you'll see with you if you look at my list. So again, so far I have Hemsworth, I have Aaron Taylor Johnson, I think, is the one exception here. But even
just
then,
a bunch of blonde hair, blue-eyed Aryan brothers
I have
thrown out there.
Idris Elba in here. I have Idris Elba again,
as an honorable mention.
As the age. If I'm looking at this list, he'd probably be my number 3. I'd move him up to probably number 1 if the age was an issue. But the other guy I have at the top is, I think, the best actor out there. Fassbender, heck, he can play a badass. Elba can play a badass. So can Luke Evans, I think, to some extent. And you could argue Taylor Johnson to some extent. Aaron Taylor Johnson could to some extent too. Wes's guys are all soft. Not bringing much to the table.
That. John Bernthal's a great choice.
He's the one guy that's a badass, and he can't play. He's the one guy who
John Hamm's a badass.
Who can't play.
Just a
Bruce
different
Wayne.
type of badass.
No, he's not. Not even really. Okay, so before we get to our top choices, Wes, who do you have as your hell no options?
Well, there's the Robert Pattinson, which has been highly publicized.
I'm right there with you.
No, thank you. He did play a vampire.
Pass.
So there's that.
Okay.
Chris Pratt. No.
I'm out on Chris Pratt too.
Doesn't do it for me.
I'm
Jake
right there
Gyllenhaal doesn't do it for me. Josh Hartnett, who was actually considered for the 2004 role in Batman Begins.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting to think how that would have turned if Josh Hartnett and not Christian Bale was in there.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, no thank you.
Okay.
Colin Farrell, although, again, good high society Bruce Wayne, Ryan Gosling.
He doesn't.
But doesn't do it for me.
He can carry himself well as in a silent role.
Right.
But it's just he doesn't have the intimidating way about him. He has kind of more that mysterious like.
He's missing a certain je ne sais quoi.
I want to help you. Like I want to learn what makes you the way you are.
And you still see him as the Notebook. So
no, that's
right.
I see him. I actually see him. Is it
Colin
Drive?
Farrell.
Was
yeah,
it Drive? That's the role when I see him. Colin Farrell. Okay, he was on my list.
Yeah, that was those are my worst.
Okay,
ones.
so I had Pattinson as a no. I had John Hamm as a no. I had Gosling as a no. I had Chris Pratt as a no. Jack O'Connell, who you brought up, I believe last week. That was the guy from the was it World War II or World War I?
Yeah.
So he's a no for me. Eric Bana, no. I think that was a list I saw from a couple years back. Nick Jonas, you brought up last time.
Oh yeah.
No, but I wouldn't mind him as Terry McGinnis possibly if we had Michael Keaton take over as Batman for the Batman Beyond. Zac Efron, no shot in hell.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then Armie Hammer, we already addressed that. No thanks. So, Wes, do you want to give your number one, or am I going to give my number one?
Let's go with you.
Okay. You actually have my number one as a no on your list.
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Ryan Gosling?
I did not respond. No, I said Ryan Gosling. I'm right there with you. You said his name, and I did not respond.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, no.
He is the best actor of this century, period. I stand by that 100%. The dude can do anything, and he never does it wrong. When he is on screen, I am completely locked in and paying attention. I haven't seen Brokeback Mountain. It's the one movie I'm sorry that I should
That's
watch
not for everybody. Not everyone likes cowboys.
That's definitely the issue. Damn westerns.
I have no problem with that. I just haven't. Came out at a time where as a kid I couldn't watch it. But either way, every time I've seen him in any role, I'm compelled to pay attention to what he's doing because I think he's a phenomenal actor, very diverse. The physical part of it is the issue with him. He falls into that Christian Bale role, which is why Hemsworth could get the edge over him, and obviously the age.
I think my issue with him, I think he can play a younger role though, than what his age. He doesn't
have that build though. That either.
It's the face for me. He doesn't like his face seems like puppy doggish. Even with a beard, like he just kind of has like this. I don't know how. It's like something about him that just kind of feels like he plays a lot of these roles that I don't know. It's tough to explain. Where he's kind of like down on himself. He feels like he kind of like has poor self-esteem.
Like you think Batman's going to be a cutter? If he's Batman.
I don't hate that take,
but I do like him a lot as an actor. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I just don't. I thought about putting him on. I can't do it.
Okay. That's not a bad take at all. I can see your point of view with that. I still have no problem putting him in any role pretty much because I think he can handle pretty much anything.
Yeah, he's
Bale's
great.
right there. Bale's another guy too who can do that. He can actually if someone wanted to recast Bale as Batman, I wouldn't say no to that either. Is that your number one?
Go back. No, that'd be an interesting choice. Mine is Adam Driver. Who is?
Oh man!
Oh my God!
Come on, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, so
I hate my life.
You just complained about Jake Gyllenhaal, but Adam Driver, you feel is the guy that can be Batman?
Yes. Who has done a better job of battling the forces of good and evil running through their veins better than Driver?
Everyone.
Everybody whines about it.
Literally everyone.
He's shown that he can be ruthless and vengeful, yet while simultaneously having being morally torn.
Yeah, but he's a big baby about it, dude.
Well, not in everything. Have you seen him in Logan Lucky? He's pretty good in Logan Lucky.
I don't know. I don't need to see him in anything else. I've seen him as Kylo Ren, his most prominent role. And how does he handle that?
I think he does a good job.
He's
I
a
think
child.
he's a great. That's the role.
I don't know if we can blame the actor.
I don't hate him in that role, but I'm always going to see him as that. As a little baby.
By the way, the best Adam Driver performance ever was as the oil baron on SNL.
And you know what? The other
If you've never seen that, look it up.
Do that.
You have to.
I look at him and I see one of two things: either a petulant child, or emotionless. But like with not
Isn't
emotionless.
that what Batman is?
Not emotionless. No, not emotionless.
No, because you realize you chose the wrong.
No, I chose the wrong word. Yes,
Yeah.
He's mopey. And I guess in a way, Batman is mopey, but but that's not like Batman. When I see him, there's an intimidation factor with him.
Batman's not mopey; he's brooding. There's a difference.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I think he can do that. He's aloof. He's aloof enough to play a nice, distant, kind of questionable Bruce Wayne. Young enough to build a franchise around him. He's got the star power. You know you can hand a franchise off to him and he can handle it.
How is Liam Hemsworth not ahead of him on your list? How is he not even mentioned in your yes or no, by the way?
Because he's a pretty boy. I'm looking for someone different outside of the square jawed, like the big, like bulking, brooding Hollywood hunks.
Didn't he just criticize Jake Gyllenhaal for not being big and brooding in a hunk?
No,
Adam Driver is Jake Gyllenhaal. They're the same. They're the same thing.
Don't do that to Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a better actor than Adam Driver. Who's your guys, Tim?
I have an out of the box suggestion because he's not as well known of a leading man. He's not a big movie star as some of these other actors are, and he's older. He's 45 years old.
Ambush Bug?
No, not Ambush Bug. But there's an actor by the name of Anson Mount that I've always thought would be a fantastic Batman.
You think so?
Yes.
Hell on Wheels, Wes. Definitely. The first season's phenomenal. I
really enjoyed all of it. Some of it did kind of get a little.
The last season was slow. The last season was kind of slow, if I remember correctly.
But that character is very much like Batman.
Yeah. But the thing is age. That's why I didn't even have
45 years old. Yeah, he's already gray.
He belongs on my honorable mention list.
And he wasn't a Marvel show.
The one Marvel show that nobody watched. He was
we could get away with putting him in.
He was Black Bolt in Inhumans.
Was he?
Yes.
That's tough.
But as an actor, he can definitely hang. But in terms of his physical appearance, that's why he wasn't even remotely close to being on my list.
How about here's one I'm just thought of right now is the guy from Kingsman. Is it Taron Egerton?
I know the main character.
Yeah. He's blonde hair.
Yeah, he's the new Robin Hood. Which, by the way, do we need a new Robin Hood?
No more Robin Hoods.
No,
you know who didn't come up in this discussion at all, and he was actually being groomed to be Batman, at least in the Christian Bale
Chris
series.
O'Donnell.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. He could. He's a good enough actor. I could see him pulling something like that off.
He'd have to bulk up a little more.
You could see him play Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. Yeah.
Man.
More so than Batman.
More so than Batman? Wait, what?
I could see him playing Bruce Wayne more so than Batman. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Having an easier time playing Bruce Wayne than Batman.
But why is that more important to you? Like, we're not talking about Iron Man where he's Tony Stark as the guy who's at the forefront more. Like, Batman, the story of Batman and Bruce Wayne is more about Batman than it is about Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. And then what the great thing about it is that Bruce Wayne becomes his alter ego.
Yeah.
Is that he's so much Batman that becomes his own mask.
That's my point.
That's interesting, isn't it?
But why do you want a guy who can play Bruce Wayne more than he can play Batman?
Because it's an origin story.
But you're not just doing it for the origin story. Which
I am. So this is for the movie. We're supposed to be based off of Batman Year One.
But it's
an origin story. That was the assignment.
But if you have that movie, but we're not, dude. We're talking about Batman in general. We're looking towards the future. When they cast Tony Stark as Robert Downey Jr. as Batman, God. When they cast
Iron Man,
Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, they didn't just look at it as this is the only movie he'd be in. Ideally, yes, you're focused on that one movie, but ideally, you're trying to plan for the future. You want a guy who can play that role, and it worked out well, right? Am I wrong?
No, but
Tim?
You're not wrong.
No, it's not that I'm disagreeing with you. You're just blocking your camera out with your hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
You're not wrong, but who's to say that after giving a role, you can't win fans over? Did you think Paul Rudd would be a good superhero?
Well, here's the thing, though. With the Batman movie, with the 375th telling of the Batman origin story, the whole draw has to be seeing this actor as Batman. So you've got to get somebody that's going to put the butts in the seats.
But you don't. My point is,
go ahead.
My point is that that's not something to be overlooked. That's a part of playing who Batman is. It's part of the role.
Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Yes, but you seem to be putting such an emphasis on it.
Well, I think that's part of it.
But
I think I mentioned
I feel like it's
evenly.
85%. I feel like it's 85% of your decisions.
Well, I mean, you can put a number on it.
I guess you have to go back and look. I see what Wes is saying. You have to go back and look and say, do you want your Bruce Wayne to be the guy where people say there's no way that could be Batman? And that's kind of what you want. I mean, you want a Bruce Wayne that nobody's going to suspect is Batman. If he's a big, strapping guy, if he looks, really cut underneath that tuxedo, then people are going to be suspicious of maybe that's Batman. So you need a guy like Michael Keaton played it perfectly. Nobody ever would have suspected Bruce Wayne of being Batman.
So then wouldn't Jake Gyllenhaal be a great Batman then?
He could be. I didn't have a problem with that. That was my one issue, is that he just looks too puppy doggish. Like his face. Like he just kind of always
Batman
seems like he's down in the dumps.
My Batman is the animated series Batman, and he was huge. Like, that's why I like Ben Affleck as Batman, because he was perfect. Yeah, he wasn't necessarily cut up, but he was huge.
But he also needed to be huge because he was fighting Superman.
Right. Well, I mean, not that really was what made the difference at the end. You just need a little Krypton and some gas, and you're good.
But you have the whole, like, they made a concerted effort to show the workout montage with him hammering a tire and pulling all this stuff and everything. It made it a point that he needed to bulk up to it, as opposed to the Joker, which you don't have to be physically imposing to defeat the Joker. You just have to be quick-witted or something up here, have it mentally between the ears.
Speaking of the Joker,
yes,
I think that puts we can put a stamp on that and say Wes and I are not going to agree on who should be the guy, because I think Driver's such a.
I think we'll put it out there. We'll do 2 from you, 2 from me on a poll, and we'll see.
Gyllenhaal, Hemsworth, Driver, and Boyega?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boyega, Cho, Bernthal.
Boyega was your 2.
Yeah, okay.
Do you stand by the Boyega?
Yeah, I'll stand by that.
Boyega was way better than Cho, I'll tell you that right now. You put the guy.
I'm just saying.
He's Harold, right?
It's diversity, yes.
You want Wes?
Roldy.
Come on, let's be honest here. I have no problem with messing around with what the character looks like physically.
He also played Stifler's mom, the guy who was in love with Stifler's mom. In American Pie, not Finch, but he was like the guy who kept yelling like MILF, 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 MILF with his other friends in American Pie.
Was that him?
Yeah.
Again,
John Cho.
Yeah.
He was really, really good on the second season of the Exorcist TV show.
Oh, okay.
Like I could watch that and kind of buy him as Bruce Wayne. I just can't buy him as Batman.
You didn't like him in the Star Trek movies either? He was good. I thought he was surprisingly good. I thought he was surprisingly badass.
I think everybody's kind of ancillary in those movies.
Yeah.
Star Trek. You want to talk about one that I could...
Of course, then I just kind of circled back on my own logic when I said I could buy him as Bruce Wayne, not as Batman. That's exactly what I just said we were looking for. So,
Thank you.
Oh, I think we're looking for different Bruce Waynes and Batmans, and I think that's what it comes down to. How do you view your Bruce Wayne or Batman?
So you want to pull like a 1970s Incredible Hulk, where you have, Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Yeah, we could do that, though.
No, I don't want any part of that.
Don't give them any ideas of doing CGI Batman.
No.
That could be something.
I think when it comes down to at the end is if you had to compare our casting decisions, Wes would fall right in with the DCEU, and I'm more, I think, on MCU level. I think that's kind of what it
I guess so. Or you just took the top 5 guys from the first article that you found online and decided to re-rank them a little bit.
Not even remotely the case. Not even remotely the case. Because I saw Pratt at the top of some lists. He was when we were researching this, the Armie Hammer stuff had not come out yet, but Armie Hammer was atop some lists.
He was listed,
too.
Yeah, he was listed.
I don't want no part of that. But anyways, so.
Yeah, a little something new we're doing here. It's a little menage a trois.
Speaking of the Joker that you brought up a little while ago, so an idea that Wes and I had kind of kicked around, and we'll be doing this going forward, is 2v1. We're going to think of a new name for that because that is very generic. Menage a trois may work.
Menage a trois, yeah.
Does it stand for something else, though, too?
Menage a trois?
Yeah.
I think that's just French for threesome.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Oh, okay. All right.
Clearly he's never had one before.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. That makes 2 of us then, actually.
3 of us. Yeah. We have a menage a trois of people that have never had a menage a trois.
Wow.
Right,
was it good for you guys? My first time. Taking it really easy on me right here.
So, anyways, we want to pick 3 characters that are kind of similar in some way, shape, or form. Where you have 2 characters try to kill you, and one that would defend you. We see stuff like this. I see it on Instagram a ton, where usually it's like 6 characters, but let's keep it simple with 3.
Yeah.
So this past week, I proposed we have Deathstroke, we have the Batman Who Laughs, and we have Bane. They're all villains.
Some of those are deep cuts.
Yep. They all are very intelligent, and I know the Batman Who Laughs is kind of physically not where he once was when he was just Batman, but he's still very well trained. So all these guys are skilled hand-to-hand combatants. They're smart, and they're very good planners, and they're evil. Different levels of evil, but evil. So, Wes, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first here.
Okay,
my thought process is pretty simple. I didn't do a whole lot of digging on this one. I just kind of scratched the surface. I would hire Deathstroke to protect me.
Okay.
Because he is a sharpshooter with guns, so he can kill things with a distance between him. He doesn't need to do hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
So that would put the Batman Who Laughs and Bane against me. Because I think they'd make a nice little duo. You know, Bane has a funny voice, and Batman Who Laughs, I think they would have a good time.
So you would feel safe with Deathstroke protecting you against those 2?
Yeah, I just really think that they would just have a good time together. They would enjoy themselves as someone who has a funny voice and then someone who would conceivably laugh at that funny voice.
So, Tim, do you have a stance on this? I know we didn't run it by you before.
Oh, I would definitely want Bane to protect me.
You would?
Yeah, because why wouldn't you want like the biggest, strongest guy of the group to have your back? And
unless you get sniped out from the back of the head by Deathstroke.
I'm hoping that Bane takes the shot.
Possibly the dumbest of the 3.
But then I get the second shot, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Possibly the dumbest of the 3, though. Not that he's dumb.
Oh, no, I agree.
Well, depending on what Bane are we talking? Are we talking from the comic books, or are we talking Tom Hardy?
No, I'm thinking of the Batman and Robin Bane.
Yeah.
That's totally controlled by Poison Ivy.
Well, yeah, you got to hit the button to get the juice flowing in him.
No, I think Bane would be my best bet.
So I love Deathstroke. Absolutely, he's one of my top guys. I mean, I think he's brilliant. He's beaten the regular Batman before. I think he's done it twice, actually. And I highly recommend reading Batman versus Deathstroke, or Deathstroke versus Batman, which came out earlier. I think it was last year. Anyways, but I'm gonna have to go with the Batman Who Laughs in this, because you're combining Batman and Joker. And I'm talking the original Batman Who Laughs, not the second one. For those who are reading the current miniseries, you have no shot against this guy. Every freaking
can he evade speeding bullets?
Dude, he'll have Deathstroke dead
from a distance.
He'll have Deathstroke dead way before Deathstroke's even thought about his plan. He has no one has a shot
about him. I just know Deathstroke is a marksman.
Dude, think about it like this: you have the Joker, and you have Batman, and all their qualities pretty much combined together.
All the bad ones too.
That's what. Yeah, but I think that the combination of the good ones that those two
that's a whole lot of ego for that's 2 big egos coming together in one body.
A whole lot of ego and a whole lot of brilliance.
Well, yeah, but ego is man's demise.
Evil.
It's probably man's greatest demise.
The only way you can beat the Batman Who Laughs is if Joker and Batman work together. And those are 2 of the greatest minds there are in all of DC.
I just think it's that type of arrogance that's going to get you shot by Deathstroke when you're not looking.
We will, and I'm not, Bane's the thing is though, he right now is the least physically intimidating of the 3. I would say
Deathstroke.
I think Batman Who Laughs is, because he's not built like Batman anymore. He's built more like Joker.
Okay,
but he can still fight like Batman. But at the same time, I think Batman Who Laughs is far and away the smartest. I think Bane is the most physically intimidating, and then Deathstroke is the perfect blend of the 3. But I think Deathstroke, as much as he's still now, he's got a little bit more morality to him. Not. I mean, compared to the other 2, it's not even close. But compared, never mind, forget it. Anyways, so we're gonna be doing that going forward.
Yeah.
When we tweet that out, okay. Please feel free to reply and let us know.
Yeah, we love all the retweets. We love them.
We appreciate the retweets and the
favorites.
favorites.
The retweets.
But we want to know what you guys think. We want to read those in the course of the show, and whenever we do this section, we'll read the best one, and you can let us know why you disagree with our last selection too. Anything to that effect. Anyways, Wes.
Can I have, before we just go, can we go back to the Batman thing real quick? I have one final addition I want to toss in there that I forgot.
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Tom Hardy. As Batman.
Tom Hardy as Batman.
That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting. I would say I
would be in on a Tom Hardy Batman film.
Look, I mean, whoever they cast, I'm going to go see the movie, even if it's Pattinson. But I could buy into Tom Hardy as Batman,
right? Because he does have the good look of a Bruce Wayne, but he can rough it up. I'd be interested to see what type of vocal choices he makes as Batman and as Bruce Wayne, because it seems like every movie he does an accent of some sort. Where I always have a tough time understanding him.
Yeah. Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Yeah, I couldn't get through that.
You got to watch with subtitles.
Yes, I'm not going to do that.
Dude, it's so worth it. That movie. Have you watched that, Tim? Peaky Blinders?
No, not yet.
Oh, I love that show. You're the first person I've talked to that doesn't like it.
I can't understand it.
They talk like this all the time.
It's annoying. It's like the same reason why I never watched like Snatch or any of those other British Guy Ritchie movies or anything like that.
I can promise you this: we're not making a headline or video of this section because I have no idea what the hell I just said in that English section.
That's a good one. I like how you kind of fill in the blanks with the parentheses sometimes. Like you kind of give like your own personal thoughts on it.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's a nice little touch for me when I go back and watch it. Yeah,
I'm glad you like that. Yeah.
But what are you watching? What's on your mind?
So what's on my mind is Todd McFarlane. I texted Tim about this the other day. I found this out from my guy Eddie's. What is it? Eddie's Toy Vault or whatever. He's on Twitter. I retweet him all the time. But anyways, Todd McFarlane has the rights to DC Heroes now. I am beyond pumped about this. He makes some of the best action figures out there. Probably the best. I love DC collectibles, but Todd McFarlane's on another level. I had like Mike Piazza's growing up as a kid, Jim Edmonds, Roy Halladay, Brian Wilson.
You had a Roy Halladay one.
Roy Halladay, yeah.
On the Phillies or on the Blue Jays?
Phillies.
Oh,
yep. I had way too many of those. I had Billy Wagner on the Mets. But anyways, I love his work. And
Wagner and the Mets. Wow.
Yes, and now he has control of DC. I need a Red Hood. Obviously, there's going to be Batman. I want him to make a Deathstroke too. There's endless possibilities with this guy in control of it. He's phenomenal. He has great vision when it comes to toys. Beyond excited. Wes, what else has been on your mind?
Well, what's been on my mind is what's been on my eyeballs over the weekend. It was The Place Beyond the Pines, which is available on Netflix. It's a drama, crime drama. So it's a pretty big cast. So it's on Netflix, starring Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, and Eva Mendes and Ben Mendelsohn.
Eva Mendes is still acting?
Well, this was an older movie.
Okay.
So yeah, this was one like it's not like a straight from theaters to Netflix release. This was at a couple years older. Eva Mendes is great. She's not wearing a bra like half the time in the movie too.
Is that a problem?
No, quite the opposite actually.
Okay.
But it's great. So it kind of pits two men that intertwine their lives and it kind of unravels over 15 years, all from this one event that kind of draws these two guys, Bradley Cooper and Ryan Gosling together. It gets broken down into 3 vignettes almost. And it's a great story about a bank robbery. You got family dynamics in there. There's a balance, how everything kind of balances out in the world. You do one bad thing, you think you cover it up, it's going to come back years later, come out and haunt you. Like I said, Ben Mendelsohn's in it, who he's unbelievable. He can play like a terrific Southern hillbilly white trash role, or also play like an even better rich prick. Because he was in Ready Player One. He was in The Dark Knight Rises. He was the guy who owned all the sanitation trucks that was working with Bane.
Okay, yep.
Also, if you're a Red Sox fan, he's like a dead ringer to play Dave Dombrowski in his biopic. They would be like a perfect spitting image.
Eesh. Okay.
He also smokes a great cigarette. That's all I got. There's some people who you can tell smoke cigarettes and do a good job, and the other ones just kind of it just lightly hangs from their mouth. And
Yeah, like Brad Pitt. He knows what he's doing when he's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Steven Dorff. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I came up with the idea. Mahershala Ali doesn't smoke a good cigarette.
Nope. Looks like he's in a hurry to finish it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else you've been watching?
No. True Detective Season 3, Broad City. Season 5, which I found out. It wasn't Season 3. It's Season 5.
Did you end up watching a rom-com on Valentine's Day?
No. We both worked on Thursday. Thursday was a very busy day for the both of us.
Okay.
So on Friday, we went out and did a little dinner date.
Nice.
And then did not watch a movie after.
So I wanted to watch The Longest Ride. Because obviously I talked about how great that movie is. And I'm still going to watch it at some point in the near future. Of course I'll watch it alone.
I don't know what you got going on. You former D1 baseball stud.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. But
be able to find a girl, wrap her up.
I'm working on that, Wes. Anyways,
okay, I got faith in you. I got no worries in you.
Thank you.
I almost combined those two.
No faith in me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame you there either. Wow. But I wanted to watch it. I still haven't had the chance to watch it. I was going to on Valentine's Day, but then I decided, you know what? I was going to write a list for Screen Rant. It was about all the things you have to know about Harley Quinn, or Suicide Squad's Harley Quinn, because apparently we didn't touch on that in news either. Apparently she's going to be in James Gunn's.
Oh, I heard she wasn't.
The newest rumor is that she's going to be.
Okay.
So she's got Birds of Prey, Margot Robbie. So you know what? I'm going to go make this list. I should probably rewatch Suicide Squad. I'm not going to lie. I hated it the first time. First time I ever walked out of a movie mad.
And you liked it?
I didn't hate it this time.
See, that's how I feel about Batman vs. Superman. Suicide Squad, I haven't got there yet.
See, you know, I saw Batman vs. Superman so far after the fact, so well after everybody else did, that I was like, well, why does everybody hate this movie? So I kind of liked it from the get-go. Suicide Squad, extended cut 2, they cut out a couple scenes. They did cut out some not bad Joker ones. Don't get me wrong. Jared Leto is not my Joker. But
I don't think he was bad. I just didn't think he had enough screen time.
Much more tolerable if you watch the extended cut. And it's not like there's a whole lot more airtime. I think it's 14 minutes. But Margot Robbie has some kick-ass scenes. Some great
I just
Harley
don't
Quinn
care
scenes.
about enough of those characters.
Deadshot, I appreciate him a lot more. I liked him before. And Harley Quinn, I appreciate her a lot more too. Not just physically, I like her visually, whatever. I think
she played a great Harley Quinn.
Yeah, she did. I was stunned. So it went from an F movie for me to a C movie.
Wow, it's a big jump.
I'm pretty stunned that I'm saying that right now.
Graded on a curve. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be back next week. We will, with a topic to be determined.
Yeah, it's pretty much how it's going to be going forward.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Wes and I are committed to the here and now. We know we're going to think of something. We're creative. We like to think we're creative individuals.
Yeah, sure. I'll go sign off on that.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out when the time comes. We'll let you guys know on our Twitter account, which is
at Change My Mind Pod, or you could find Nicholas at Fry_Guy1, or myself at Wesley Sykes _. You can find us on YouTube.
Yes.
At WBSM 1420 AM. Got that one
you.
Right. What else do we have here? You can find us on Geeks Worldwide on their iTunes and their SoundCloud. Or you could find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Spreaker, Overcast, Pocket FM, Anchor FM. I think I got everything on there.
Yeah, look at you.
Change My Mind Podcast. If you just we're the #1 search when you search Change My Mind Podcast.
Are we actually the #1 search now?
When you search Change My Mind Podcast, yes.
Anything else, Wes, before I get
No, I think that's it. Let's just hear the smooth melodic tones of Kenny Shane. Album out now, Open Heart.